friend, Pat Sloan here. So today is week 2, block number 2 of Grandma's Kitchen. I also have a parade at the very end of blocks from your Grandma's Kitchen, block number 1, which is so fantastic. So many of you have jumped in. You have absolutely amazing stories to go along with your blocks. It is such a wonderful trip down memory lane. And if you haven't joined yet, you can still join. It's a 25-week quilt along, so you have plenty of time to get in on it. We're just at block number 2. So before we start that, it is Argyle Day. So if you have we'll call it plaid. If you have a plaid quilt, or if it's a true Argyle, that would be amazing. Share that at Quilt Along with Pat Sloan. It'll be super fun to see. It is also typing day. Typing is one of my loves. Isn't that weird? Why, like loving typing? But I do. I took it in high school and I typed and I loved it. And I always have been a person who types. So it's kind of a thing I enjoy. So if you love typing or have a typing story, leave it here at YouTube or at my fireside chat group for our talk that is not quilting related over at Facebook. Okay, so before I put a quilt behind me, I'm going to put a quilt up behind me and try that and just see how it looks. But before we do that, I have the white desk came in and it's set up. You can see here, and I did a little walkthrough of that. So let's take a look. And as I promised, my white table. So this is the new desk. And in order to get a pull-out tray, which I have to use because I have got not just a mouse down here, but I have a tablet, which is what I draw with, and I actually mouse with the pen versus the mouse that often. I use the mouse in my left hand and the pen in my right hand. That's how it works here at the Sloan Zone. Look at the keyboard Greg got me. With the blinky lights, they could make them not blink if you want. But because of the way I sit, I don't see them that much. I do need to get a couple little baskets for under there. And I'm loving the panoramic view. My monitors are 2 different sizes. This one's a touch screen, which when I broke both my wrists, Greg got me a touch screen so that I can actually, at the time, it was a lifesaver, and I still use it a lot. This one is not a touch screen. So I'm a dual monitor girly now, and because this table is longer, I needed to replace this because I still need to function here. And I've decided right now not to put the AccuQuilt stuff back up there. I don't use it all the time. I would rather have it as a workspace, a staging area space, but I did put the machine down here, and the little pink roller fits under here, and I put my clappers under there because, a lot of things had to change with the ironing. So the ironing board is here. It'll pull out, and like I mentioned yesterday, the iron has to plug in around the corner, as does the heater, because of the electric wiring in here is not heavy duty enough for an iron. Plus I've got all the computer equipment in here and the sewing machine, but they don't pull, the sewing machine doesn't pull that much power, but I've got camera equipment. So the heavy duty power use of the heater and the iron are around the kitchen where it's much higher electric. Whatever the terminology is. For you that are electrical engineers out there, you will know the right terminology. I don't. But Greg is an electrical engineer, so he does. He has it all figured out and monitored and tested. So there we go. I am so happy. For 10 years, I have wanted a white table. And for those of you who use a keyboard tray, you have to look for a gaming table, and then a white gaming table that does not have a big sort of hutch on it are a little bit more difficult to find. I will link to mine in case you think that might be perfect for your space. I will also link to this, which is actually a mini desk. It's just a table, but it's super heavy duty. They're both very heavy duty, so that actually I would sew on that because it is really heavy duty. Okay, my friends, there you go. Well, it's kind of fun. I have a lot more room now behind me than I did before. So this space is just working out so well, but it's just making some adjustments here for the filming, so you're going to see things. You can see me just try some things until I kind of settle into how it'll work with filming on this side. Yeah. It's like always something new. Okay, Grandma's Kitchen. We are going to talk sticky buns. Do you know what sticky buns are? Both my grandparents were Central Pennsylvania, Harrisburg area residents, and there were sticky buns all the time, everywhere, farmers markets, grocery stores, you name it, sticky buns abounded, and varieties of styles. I really liked the ones that were quite luscious, you know, big, they're caramel, they have nuts, walnuts or pecans. I think I like the walnuts better personally. Yeast bread. So anyways, that is what a sticky bun is, and my grandparents both would have them as treats. You know, it didn't matter, Nana or Granny, Pappy and Pop-Pop, my grandparents, my grandfathers as well, sticky buns were always a big treat. Okay, so the block we have is super fun. This is a 12-inch finish block. As you know, the pattern has a few different sizes. Most of them are 12, but there's a few other sizes. And then here is the sort of bonus layout with a little sashing. So somebody sew that up quick so we can see how it looks. So here's block number 1 for me. And remember, I am using like a variety of colors. So these are my colors here. And I want to be sure that I am sort of mixing it up, that I don't have things lumped in a section. On the pattern supply list / layout, you have the diagram. It's a 2-page on where everything goes. So block number 2 is at the top row. So I can right now kind of easily sort of disperse colors around. So I want to do the sort of light purples that are in this particular line called Laguna something. Laguna Sunrise, is that what it's called? Yeah, Laguna Sunrise. And I am going to put them on this ballerina pink because, you know, I think that just looks incredibly awesome. So I'll be alternating 2, and one of them has to be the stripe. So I will use the stripe where the light is in the pattern. Okay, so where the light is, the light color, I will do the stripe, and then I think I'll do the other print. So I think that's what the block will look like on this ballerina pink. So let me go ahead and sew that guy up. This is the first that I'm using the ironing board since I moved everything. So I have to pull it out from its spot here, and we put a hook so I can just wrap the cord there. But I really love that I have this little table that I can put my iron on while I'm working. And so yeah, it won't be too bad. I just have to put it away if I want. I mean, I don't have to put it away. I can just, you know, get it out of the way by pushing it against the design wall. I mean, you can just push it over, but I don't really want to look at it sideways from in here. And doing this has eliminated the cords I had to run across here because the ironing board used to be over here. And so the iron cord had to run here and my camera cords had to run here. So I had multiple cords across the floor. Now, look, no cords. It is glorious. There are just only some cords on the floor over there. This is going to look so cute. I do want to remind you that there are 2-inch strips and 2.5-inch strips. Remember, this strip is identical over here. I just didn't put the numbers again. They're identical. 2-inch and 2.5. This is 2.5 in the middle. So read carefully, otherwise your block's going to be all wonky, my friend. Also, I'm taking little pieces from, I just cut 1 strip at a time, or even just parts of something, and put them in the bag so that I might be able to use this again, like, you know, get something else for another block. And I look at this first before I start cutting. All done, all done. Oh my gosh, I love it. Where's the other one? Hold on, side by side. There we go. And they're in 2 different rows, and so I'll be sprinkling the colors from this fabric line across the whole quilt, so that they'll be like purple in different places and reds and grays in different places, etc., oranges, peaches, all the colors. So there's a lot of colors in this particular bundle. So this will be super, 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 super fun. I'm excited to see what your blocks look like this week. Remember, at the end, I've got a quilt parade for block 1 from you and you and you. But before we get to that, we have gratitude and grace. We're on the last row, and I've got this my chair is now my office assistant over here. I can put things on it to share. So here is my row. Ta-da! 1 row across. Now hold on, let me just move everything. I am trying to figure out this placement. I have a lot of room, but it's always, it's new. So it's new for me, this space. Okay, so I have done 3 blocks because I already have the quilt. And this is the kit with using my Gratitude and Grace, the flower patch pattern from the Fat Quarter Shop. And so my row of 3 blocks, which is 1, 2, 3. If you're making the whole quilt, you're now going to be on the 4th row if you haven't done it yet. And I am going to make mine into either a wall banner like this, just hanging like this, because I have that place behind my front door, between the front door and the window in my hall there, that like I use banners. So this would be perfect, or it's a great size for a table runner. So I decided to do it like this for the quilt along. So next week, you will be sewing all the rows together and do your inner border. And if you want to do this outer border area, the outer border, not area, the outer border itself. So that will be your assignment for next week. And then the project will be done. Look at that. So I will have mine together, and I think I'm just going to do the wave stitch on this, which will be super cute. And it'll be a finished project. So that is where you are on the flower patch with Gratitude and Grace. And there are kits, so if you want to make one, and I know maybe in December you didn't get a chance to get in on this, but you can certainly get it. It's a repeat block, so you're basically, you do the block. There you go. I did a video about 4 weeks ago on making the block. You can go back and look at that. There's a playlist for the Gratitude and Grace. Okay, let's take a look at your blocks for the quilt parade. Oh my goodness, you just knocked it out of the park. We're going to kick off with Amy's Beautiful in Blue, perfect for the winter, our month of blue. Anna's got a blue star on a yellow background. You're going to see a lot of variations of the color, which is the best part about this. I really love it. Our ambassador, Barbara, she is doing aquas. Look how gorgeous this is. So the dark aqua on the light. Charlene is using my Gratitude and Grace fabric. Here's the blues. Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love seeing it. Cindy's peaches and kind of rust color, which go with that gorgeous center block. Dana's beautiful 30s kind of feel fabric, so pretty on tan, like I like the tan background. Diane showing us a bit of her fabric collection that she's using up here, and I love how it's turned out. You can see she has some solids that mix in here, which is super effective. Diane number 2 also has blue, and you can see that she used the background behind her interior star, so it gives a little bit different appearance to the block, which is so fun to see. Doreen's, oh, love it. It's kind of like a red. It's kind of a patriotic in a bit, a red and blue. But she said there's great stories. You need to come to the website. You need to come to Facebook, rather, to Quilt Along with Pat Sloan and read the stories yourself. And I know that hers was, I believe, inspired, the colors, by both her grandmas. Jan's has this lovely lemon fabric. Oh, look at that. So pretty. See, Karen's is soft in grays and light blues. Look at that stripe. Look how effective that stripe is. And they're all horizontal. I love that. And she's added the sashing already. So you can do that because you have the layout. All of you have the layout. It's already published. Here's my friend Kendall, who is also one of the ambassadors and has a YouTube channel where he sews the blocks every week. So if you missed seeing that, you can go over there. And he did the center like the background fabric, which is how the pattern is kind of written. But if you didn't want to see how that looks, there he shows you. Kimberly's batiks in plums. Oh my goodness, plums and peach. That's spectacular. It's our ambassador Laura, known as Half Pint. And I believe Laura has some great collection of Pyrex. Look at that butter dish. Oh my goodness. Love the fabrics. Liz, I do remember Liz's story because she said, first of all, Liz wasn't even going to make this project, so I'm glad you joined in, but she said this reminded her of the kitchen table with all the chairs around it. So she left her interior star white, so it made it look more like chairs. Isn't that cool? You can kind of build the story around what works for you. Mary Jo's, oh, look at that fabric. There's some tulip pink animal fabric there. Maybe all of it is. It is spectacular. Love that. Melissa's, oh, look how pretty this is. It's kind of a red, white, and blue. Love it. Michelle's gorgeous dark. I love the darker center, and then she's got a text print in the green, and then a big check for the pinky plaid. Oh my gosh, love that. Misty's beautiful block. It's kind of got look at that background, and then she used the same background in the center, which is fantastic. Monica, so fun, and she fussy cut all those four corners of the bigger star. Love it. Love those plates. Those big look like plates to me. Sharon's happy block where she took from my breakfast club. She took the egg and put the egg in the middle. That is just so fun. Eggs at Grandma's kitchen table, right? And Sue's, look at the center fabric. Oh my goodness. That sort of retro kitties. I love that style kitty. Just a couple more. Our ambassador Suzanne is using some super happy prints, and look at that center fabric. That's absolutely fantastic. And then she shows you how you don't have to print. You can just use your laptop or your phone and call up the pattern and just read it right like that. So you don't need to print anything. This is Suzanne number 2, and she's got black and red on a white background. This is going to be amazing. Amazing. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your wonderful, wonderful blocks. I do hope you go over to Quilt Along with Pat Sloan and actually look at the blocks yourself, because there are so many more, and not all of them, but many of them have wonderful memories and stories about the block and their grandmas, or them as a grandma, making it kind of their history of being a grandma, or their memories of this point in time of being a grandma, which I think is super cool. Okay, so this is my block of sticky buns. Now, your family may not have a sticky bun in it. That might not be something your family had, but I bet there is some other pastry or sweet or dessert that was kind of special, maybe to your family or to your area. So if you want to talk about that with your block, I would love to hear about it. And if you want to share sticky bun or any other dessert recipes, you can do that over at my fireside chat at Facebook, which is my group for the non-quilting conversations that we have. Things that we generate and talk about here that we want to have a little bit deeper conversation, or you want to share a photo about it. So, okay, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.